Hey guys, thanks for stopping by Casks-n-Que, where whiskey and barbecue meet. I'm your host, Justin Lloyd. In our last video, in case you haven't seen it, I'll put a card right there. I showed you how to trim a backyard brisket. Well, today we're gonna smoke that brisket. Here's our brisket from the last video. So I trimmed this last night. Again, check out the last video. And I put it in some aluminum foil and cellophane wrap, however you say it. You know, the plastic clingy stuff that everybody hates. Some butcher paper. I just wanted to make sure it didn't get too dried out. Left it in the fridge overnight. If you remember our last video, we trimmed this brisket down pretty heavily. We had about 6 pounds of fat and unwanted meat. And so this is the end product. Really aerodynamic, really clean. So a lot of people add binders, right? If the brisket is a little bit dry, this one isn't, but I'm just going to add one just to show you. Some people use mustard, some people use mayonnaise, some people use Worcestershire sauce, all kinds of different stuff. I'm just going to use apple cider vinegar today. Let's talk about rub. So one of the mistakes I see often is when people use a rub that has a lot of sugar in it. Don't do that. Cooking brisket is low and slow, and it takes a long time, and that sugar can burn up, creating a burnt crust. Nobody likes that. You can use 16 mesh ground black pepper and kosher salt, 50-50 ratio, and that is the quintessential, extremely basic brisket rub, and that's totally fine. But today, we're gonna use our very own GPS. This rub has garlic, pepper, salt, paprika, and garlic powder. And it's pretty pepper forward. You can't mess up brisket by using too much pepper, but you can mess up a brisket by using too much salt. Let's go with a nice, even application. This is a pretty big brisket, so I'm gonna go heavy with the rub. I want that nice bark. Pat it in, don't rub, pat. When you rub it, it smears it, kind of makes a weird cakey mess. You can order this rub, and I'll put a link to it in the description box below. Don't forget the sides. Let's flip it over. And that is a properly rubbed brisket. Now let's fire up the pit. We're going with some cherry wood today, down the chute. We're gonna roll with some BLT Charcoal Company hardwood lump charcoal, right from Gillette, Arkansas, right here at home. Big thanks to Townley Pool and Spa for giving me this to try out. I'll put a link to the website in the description box below. As a matter of fact, I should probably call Townley Pool and Spa. Ugh. Almost. Come here. We're gonna roll with some of these tumbleweeds. We gotta open this up. Today we are gonna use the fireboard. Basically, it's just a way to control your temperatures for your pit if you don't feel like messing with it all day, and it's football Saturday and I don't feel like messing with it all day. So this cable goes into the into the cook chamber, and it monitors the internal temperature there. And I have it set to 250 degrees, and that fan is connected to it, and it's working to stoke the fire, the flame in the firebox. And once it reaches 250 degrees, it will remember that that's where it's supposed to be, and it will turn off and on depending on if the temperature drops above or below 250. And I don't care what you say, it's not cheating. If you're not cheating, you're not trying. So one mistake I've seen plenty of times is when people put their meat on the smoker too soon. Too soon? What do you mean? Well, look at that smoke. It's dirty, it's thick, it's billowy. That's yucky. Don't want that. You want thin, clear, blue smoke. Okay, so we have thin blue smoke. As you can see, our smoker is just about up to temp. I'm gonna go ahead and throw this brisket on. Now, since our heat source is over here, I'm gonna put the fat end of the brisket facing towards that heat source. That helps it protect the flat, or that's how you protect the flat, I should say. I like to kind of shape it up. It'll cook the way you lay it on there, so make sure it's not crinkly. We're just gonna let that go for the next 3, probably 4 hours, and we're not gonna even open the door. Whether I'm barbecuing or drinking whiskey, I like to have a snack, and that snack is always Angry Toothpick Jerky. So this is the original. I think Sweet Heat might be my favorite, but original is my jam too. Locally made, small batch, excellent stuff, small business. Packed full of flavor, no added weird chemicals. I know the guys that make this stuff. You need to go buy some. This stuff is wonderful. All protein. Man, this stuff is delicious. There's gonna be a discount code in the description box below. And get your own. Own your hangry. Just let them know that Casks-n-Que sent you. So we're at the 4-hour mark on this brisket cook. Let's take a look at it and see how we're doing. Looking really nice. We're not getting any pooling of juices, because sometimes you'll get like a pool of juice right there, which is okay, but not completely desirable because it can wash away bark. It's getting a little crispy right there, so I'm going to put some aluminum foil and cover that flat end. Overall looking really good, but I think I'm going to hit it with some apple cider vinegar and water mixture as a spritz just to keep things moist. I'll just take a piece of aluminum foil here. Just to protect that flat side from drying out. So we're approaching 6 hours on this brisket cook, and it's time to really start paying attention to the temperature and when to wrap. I like to look for a color other than a temperature to wrap. A lot of people say start wrapping at 165. I like to just look at the color and make sure the bark is set before I wrap. But we are going to use this thermometer just to see what the temperature is right now. I'm going to leave this in, and it's going to help me monitor the internal temperature of the brisket as it cooks. Right, it's looking good. That bark hasn't set yet. That's moisture on top of the brisket. The point looks good. And again, we're protecting that flat with the aluminum foil. So let's go ahead and get that thermometer put in the brisket. I like to go right in the middle, like so. Yeah, see, we're at 160 degrees. That's where I thought we'd be. Actually, I thought we'd be 165, but oh, it just jumped up 162. But anyway, it's getting closer. I think I'm gonna check back in about another hour and see what the bark looks like. And I bet we're gonna be close to wrapping. So stay tuned. 7 hours into this brisket cook, let's see what we look like. Looking good. Really good color. Now that bark hasn't completely set on the top. You can see there, it's still kind of wet. So I'm just gonna let this ride. We're not looking too crunchy. I might go ahead and spritz the sides real quick, just to be sure. With our handy dandy apple cider vinegar water mixture. Just hit those sides. Yeah, okay. We're gonna let it ride for another hour. Okay, so we just spritzed the sides of the brisket just to make sure that it doesn't get too crunchy. So I have noticed we're at 167 internal, and we've been there for about 2 hours. So I think we're in the stall right now. That's really where the collagen and the internal fat is kind of, breaking down. And a stall can last for a couple hours or, 2 or 3 hours. So I'm not gonna power through it. A lot of people will wrap their brisket in aluminum foil to get past that stall real quick. I'm just gonna let it occur naturally. I'm not gonna try to influence the cook in any way. I want this to be as simple and basic as possible. So once we get past the stall and I like the bark, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap in butcher paper. When I say the bark is set, like you touch it and it doesn't scrape off. So it's definitely time to wrap. Okay, what I have here is some butcher paper. This is the wide butcher paper. I think it's 18 inches across. I don't like it when I see people use the more narrow butcher paper because you have to use 2 pieces and they overlap. I don't know, I just don't like that. Let's turn it this way. Hope it doesn't curl up too much on us. Go ahead and spritz it down again and also hit the paper just to promote a more moist environment. That. Fold that end over. Fold that down. Same thing on this side. Flip once. Keep those corners down. Pull it back towards you. The lip again. Make sure it's wrapped in there nice and snug. There we go, perfectly wrapped brisket. Back onto the smoker. Well, now there's not much left to do except play the waiting game and maybe grab a cold beer. Okay, so this brisket is tender. It's ready to slice, but it's 2:30 in the morning and I gotta get some sleep. So we're gonna put this in the oven. We have the oven set to warm at 150 degrees and we'll slice into this thing at lunch tomorrow. We'll be right back. Okay, it's the next morning. This brisket has been resting overnight. I had to get some sleep. We left it wrapped in the butcher paper, put it in the oven at 140, 150 degrees. If your oven has a warm setting, then just use that. And let's go ahead and unwrap it, slice into it, and see how we did. Here we go. Oh, that's a good sign. Oh man, look at that. Oh yeah, nice and pliable. I think this is gonna be good. Oh, beautiful. Beautiful. Look at that. So the first thing we're going to do, remember this is the lean end, this is the fatty end, flat point. We're going to cut right down the middle. That looks pretty dang good to me, man. All right, so once we cut down the middle, I'm gonna move the flat over here. We're gonna rotate the point end towards us, and we're gonna make some slices. You wanna make these slices a little thicker because of all the fat. Oh man. That looks pretty good to me. Let's try this side. See, that looks really good. Nice and rendered, juicy, tender. Let's take a bite. I like these ends right here. Those are such good bites. Delicious. Here we go. That is so good. That's my favorite part of the brisket, by far. Just the right amount of fat. It's rich, it's peppery, a little bit of salt. You got that garlic. That rub really sets it off. Man, that is just awesome. Tender, juicy. Look at that. Oh, okay, let's see how we did on the flat. Still looks really good. We're looking for about a number 2 pencil width on these slices on the lean. Oh man. Yeah, that looks really good. Good smoke ring, you can tell right there. And see the bark is set really good. It's kind of gummy. Look at that. As long as it doesn't fall apart under its own weight. As a matter of fact, let's try that. See how that's not falling apart? That's perfectly cooked. And when you pull it apart, just like that. That is a really good lean. Let's try it. Nice and tender, juicy. Here we go. That's really good. Really good. I think it pays off to buy a prime instead of a choice or select. There you have it, guys. A backyard brisket. It's a lot of work, I'm not gonna lie, but it's so worth it. Just know that going in, if you buy a brisket, you're gonna be committed for a while. Hey, if you like this video, go ahead and like, subscribe, and smash that bell. When you smash the bell, you'll get notifications when I upload new content. Thanks for stopping by. We'll see you next time.